Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Brennan. I'm one of the teachers for AP World History. I'm also the social studies resource teacher and the advisor for the National Honor Society. Let's talk about AP World History and what you can expect this year. I use a method of teaching and learning called the flipped classroom. This is my 5th year teaching AP World History, and I've used this model for all of those 5 years. And I'm such a strong proponent of this style that I've actually presented at a number of conferences, most recently at the National AP Convention in Washington, D.C. And how it works is students spend time in class applying key concepts to the skills that they're focusing on, whether that's writing an essay, looking at primary sources in a collaborative learning group, or having a Harkness discussion. In order to do that, students have to come to class prepared. And what that means in AP World History is they go home and before they come in on Monday, they already know the content because they've read the chapter, but they've also listened to the podcast that I've created that focus on that week's topic. So, for example, this week we focused on the ancient empires of Greece and Persia. There were 3 podcasts that students had to listen to. And corresponding with these podcasts were also guided reading sheets that I created. And this helps students process what's being said and also pick up on what's really important, what those key concepts are. And they come to class ready to do something with that knowledge. And this allows students to not only monitor their own understanding and see where they're at, but it also lets me check in. And if I need to adjust accordingly based on where students are already at and what we need to do to get them to where they need to go, I can do that quite easily because they're always getting real time feedback. Books. Each student was given a copy of Howard Spodek's The World's History, and all of their assigned reading is in this book. And students do not need to buy anything for this class to be successful. They've got the textbook from Magruder, and they've got the packets that I have created. But if there are supplemental sources that students are interested in, this is what has always been come as highly recommended. As a supplemental source, AMSCO's The World History by Perfection Learning. And this is a great supplemental source. It's all of the chapters that are found in textbooks and condensed down into this is what students have to know. College Board actually approved this as a textbook earlier this year. A number of students have said in the past they do like this to the extent that they asked if I could please put the chapters of this book on the calendar underneath the Spodek chapters. But again, none of this is required. When it comes to preparing for the AP exam, I asked students, what did you find most helpful? And this is what they said. Barron's and the Princeton Review were the most helpful for them. And finally, I'm a big proponent of reading for fun, of reading to expand your own knowledge because you find it interesting. And I have a number of books in my personal library that students are allowed to borrow if they ever want to do extra reading. Again, that's not required at all. Here are just a few of my favorites: In Search of Southeast Asia, Africa and World History, and the History of the Ancient World. And these are just 3 that I love because, for my own personal knowledge, I found them quite inspiring. It was a lot of information that I didn't know about and helped me grow as a learner and as a teacher. So I've got plenty of books if your students ever want to look at them. Communication. I use Remind. It's a great app. I can send out messages to students. Hey, don't forget, we have a quiz on Tuesday. If they're confused about a key concept, they can chat me and I can get right back to them. It's a lot quicker than email. That's available until about 6:30. The Google Classroom is our digital hub. You will find everything on there: the calendar, syllabus, assignments, and electronic copies. You'll also notice our calendar. The podcasts are hyperlinked with the guided reading pages that correspond. Students can also see what's coming in class Monday through Friday with what assignments are coming up. And it's also great if they're absent, they can see what they've missed. The supports that I have, I'm in C120. I do float from room to room, but I have morning tutoring from 7 to 7:30 and lunch 11:15 to 11:45. On Wednesdays, I offer meditation and light yoga sessions. We always meet outside C120 and travel as a group to our location. Sunrise salutations are 7:15 to 7:30, and midday meditations are held during lunch. Towards the end of September, I do hope to have the hours for student-led tutoring by the National Honor Society posted. That tutoring is always in the media center. And finally, the crash courses. This information is on flyers throughout the school, and it's also on the Magruder homepage. So you'll see our early sessions are on note taking, study skills, time management, organization, and then expanding sentences. The double sessions begin the second week of October, and they focus specifically on essay writing. So you'll notice the LEQ and then the DBQ. So the first session is the LEQ, the second session, the DBQ. Thank you all so much for coming this evening. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. Have a great night. Cheers, everybody.